Nigerian politics, leadership, and quality representation. Today in the studio of FaceToFace TV, we have a wonderful guest, my own brother and friend, Emmanuel Akonuche. We probably know him as the Lion's Den. I don't know if it's the Den of Babylon.
This is one of other states.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, welcome to FaceToFace TV. Today in FaceToFace, we want to talk about the kind of representations and leadership style that we have in our environment, Nigeria as a whole, centering on the levels of empowerment and levels of representations that we have from our leaders. You know, politics these days have become something else that people think it has been stereotyped to one star. The problem. It has been stereotyped to one star, and because we have seen it just that one star, when it comes out to, when we see something different from what we usually have, we applaud so many things. So today we have Mr. Akonuche, who is going to help us talk about some things. First of all, bro, you're welcome, just like I said before. Then we are going to look at the century, the 21st century where we are in. Do you think we are supposed to have something different in leadership and politics than what we should have before? Or do you think that politics is something, or the leadership is something that should continue the way it is? It should recycle from person to person in the same manner?
Okay, thank you, Mentor. First of all, I don't know, I lost my voice. But can you hear me? You can hear me, right? Okay. Leadership. First of all, we have to understand what leadership is all about. You know, because today what we see as leadership, or what people think leadership is, it's not actually what leadership is meant to be. Leadership is being accountable, you know, being selfless, you know. But if, as a leader, you tell me that you collected our money, maybe you purchase this product now from our money, from our fund, and when we go to the place where this property or this what we didn't was purchased, where it was supposed to be kept after the purchase, we will not do it. Or we say you build a certain structure with a certain amount of money from our fund. A structure should be something that should be seen. It's not invisible. Yeah. So when we get there, we couldn't see those things. That was not leadership. Okay, so today, what we see as leadership is an opportunity. People getting opportunity to do what they condemned. That's what others were doing previously. So they themselves are getting the opportunity and still doing the same thing over and over again. I think that is what we are seeing today, which is not practical leadership should be. This is something that should be felt by people. You do this in life, you should be able to solve a real-time problem. If you are not able to solve a real-time problem, maybe you are not a leader. And first of all, we should also understand that leadership is different from politicking. Today, I will say that we have more or less politicians than leaders. Take for instance, now, you go to a community. That community have pressing needs and problems facing them. But now you go there as a politician, you decided to build civic center for them. Yes, you solved a problem, but that is not a real-time problem. Community may be lacking water or maybe electricity. These ones are a real problem issue. It's not a civic center. After they have been doing their meetings, they have not been hiding under the hole to do anything. So, as a leader, you must be able to solve a real-time problem, not just solving a problem.
All right. That brings me to the question. Are you thinking we should have a shift from what the masses, what the masses have been expecting, you as, just like you have explained what leadership looks like from your own perspective, are you thinking that we are not having a shift recently from what we usually had before?
It's the same thing.
How?
It's just like in a football match. You know, if I'm a home team,
yeah,
maybe I'm playing, my goalpost is from this home side. After the second half, we will not change, I will not be attacking from the other end. That is what will happen today. We have people that only cry and shout about a leader when they lack the opportunity to be part of that leadership or part of that group of whatever they call it. When they get the opportunity now to make things right, I will see them doing the same thing. Except in Nigeria. Before 2015, we are having change. about 2015, they use this mantra and they change Jonathan, they change everybody out. Now, the same thing that was happening during that era that they wanted to change. If the problem was at level 4, it had not skyrocketed to level 10. The same thing, the same pattern, different people.
So you are saying that there is no change, there is
no, there is not, just individuals wearing different clothes.
Someone was screaming about empowerment programs that we should have around us.
Okay.
And that is where I want to hear from you. You know, recently we've had so many good representatives, like I will always say. When we've not had this good before, the leadership that we have today is something that has been doing so many good things around us. But yet people are still screaming about the empowerment programs that we have around us. What is your take on that?
On this aspect of empowerment programs, I will use my own state where I'm coming from. I'm from other states. I will use it for instance. I've created more enemies because of this mentality than I've made friends. You know, people said sometimes I am too radical. In fact, some people say that I have a bitter heart. Simply because I sit down in my own corner and analyze what is going on today in the name of empowerment. Mentor. After Muga, there has never been a time in the history of an old man that grinding of corn in the market or journal of Egusi is said to be the operation of another man. When you are going up, if you go to the market close to Mecca, or you go to more Babeli market, if you want to grind your corn, your Egusi or whatever, these things are occupation being done by those people who come do and they are living among us. In fact, in those days, people that used to grind corn or cassava and all those things are people that, should I say that, escape imbecility. People that are not much more privileged to go to school and all that. But today, how can a legislator or government come up with this idea of buying grinding machines in their hundreds and thousands, selling to the people? For instance, now, if you give my mother a grinding machine in the village, what is she going to do with it? Will she open grinding store? And mind you, when you share up to 500 pieces of grinding machine to people, that means automatically 500 families have now been empowered with grinding machine. So who's going to grind for who? So today, my brother, what we see as empowerment is not really what an empowerment should look like.
Okay, from your own perspective, what are you expecting? What
I'm coming. You buy a machine, you give to a youth who graduated maybe among the top 5 in his class. You give me a machine. I have been telling people this. 1,000 Okada riders cannot build a society.
I didn't get that.
I said that 1,000 Okada riders can never build a society. Okada riding, I'm not speaking down on people doing Okada as a business, but this is just temporary lift from poverty. It can never solve poverty problem. And any empowerment that is not able to solve real poverty problem is not an empowerment. Today, if I'm an Okada rider, I have a family of 3. I go out to run Okada. I come back with, let's say, 3,000 after buying fuel and everything. And I have 3 months to feed, including myself for. How do you think I will save from Okada for me to contribute to a community project of maybe putting electricity or, let's say, building a civic center for our people? So those things are not empowerment. If you want to talk about empowerment, my own ideal empowerment should be as a government, or let's say as a legislator. You want to empower your people, right? We are on a digital era. This is 2026. Part of that money you should use, you are going to use to buy machine, buy garden machine, buy corn, buy ticket to dash your concubines and your friends. Use it and build a vocational training center. Then you will be able to train our youth. You can train them in garment making, shoe making, ICT, and all the rest of them. Now, after that money too, you can be running, let's say, quarterly training sessions for the people on the other side of the ICT. You can subsidize laptop for them. Or those that did marvelously well, you can give them laptop. I want to tell you that one good laptop in the hand of a good person is worth more than Now, but it's what kind of 100 machine that you just dash out to people on the street?
But it all depends on the person who was given this. Okay, let me cut it short from this angle. Talking about giving Okada that you said it cannot solve a communal problem.
Yes.
Now, do you know that not everybody is opportune to go to school, and I don't think also that every person that were given that bike were all graduates.
Okay.
You understand? That is on that. And secondly, do you know that most of the persons that we have around us, like the mothers we talked about that were giving grinding machines, some of these women are people who are not doing anything.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, they always say that half bread is better than none.
Okay.
Do you understand? So, leaving these persons to nothing,
okay,
than giving them something that can help them build their life,
okay,
are not the same thing. Okay. Now, we'll start an example. I have a brother in my own locality who does grinding.
Okay.
In all the big markets, he goes to Nkwala market, the one in Ngopala.
Okay.
He goes to Oluku, he goes to Renter, and all the rest of them. I can even mention his name, okay, because I am proud he's doing well. Okay. This person has a family he's feeding, he has built his house. What is he doing? He has a very nice bike he's riding. He's just grinding. Okay. Do you understand? The only problem that we have is that people look down on these things and they think that maybe these things are not worth giving out. Okay. But when you look at this person who have given this particular thing, if he or she can afford it, he won't come scrambling for it. Okay. You can scramble for what you already have. Okay. Do you understand? Okay. Now, talking about the bike also, looking at these persons who are into Okada riding, this is a means of transportation. The only problem is that most times we give out these items to people who don't value them. Okay. If you give it to somebody who has value for it, I think the person can make a whole lot from that. And now on the other part of building ICT centers and vocational centers, just like you said, is a very nice approach. Anybody can do that and it's going to yield a better result. The same way the bike you gave to somebody who didn't use it well, is the same way that laptop you give to somebody who doesn't value it is a waste. Last time we had Take Rise. Tech Rise, what about it? Okay, yes. The Tech Rise, the one that is
the government.
Yes, the quarter is happening now. Yes. The first quarter has come and gone. The second quarter has come and gone. The third quarter is going on now. Do you know some of those persons that were given the laptop, some of them sold it out. Some are using it to do some other things that are not attaining what the trend they got. Okay. Do you understand? And now this is where the problem is. It's not about the government building the educational center and all that. At the end of the day, what are we getting back from it? If all these persons have been empowered, who have been given this, even the KK riders can be able to use it in one way or another to affect the society, I think we're going to be having a better society than we have now.
Mentor, like I said earlier, if as a government or as a leader, you want to do a particular project called empowerment, first of all, we should try to understand the problem we want to solve. Do you want to solve temporary problem or you want to solve problem of tomorrow? Because I still maintain what I said, that in a community, no community today can have a project that will worth 50 million naira, that 100 Okada riders can fix. Only empowerment that is not centering on ICT, education, that to me is not an empowerment. Because the reason why I say this is simple. If you're talking about somebody who grind machine, who grind okay, in your place, you started somebody that is doing well and all that. You should also look very, very well. Maybe that grinding is not actually the only thing he's doing. Maybe he has other sorts of incomes that are giving him money. Not to read that because, my brother, if you're talking about this grinding, what actually are you going to grind to be able to send your 2 children to the University of Nigeria today to go and study? So I'm looking at it from this angle. We should empower people with something that will be able to last long and be able to make them be able to create wealth for themselves. So that not tomorrow, if you have a problem of 10 naira, you will start looking for those same people that gave you machine and other. And for the machine out of it, if truly this machine to an extent is also being given, you scrutinize people you want to give it to. And also give the people that genuinely want to use it for the Okada business per se. It will also go a long way, but not accurately solving a lot of problem. Because if you look at all the machines today being shared as empowerment, you will see a young person who have never done any Okada business before. You will see him holding one. You will see a party leader who doesn't have business with Okada riding holding one. You will see a friend to a legislator holding one. And those machines are the wrong hands. So I agree with you partly that if the Okada machine is being utilized by somebody who really wants to hustle with Okada, it can go a long way to fix little of his problem, but not truly of his problem.
No, I want to ask you this question.
Okay.
I want to draw your attention to this.
Okay.
You see, what the problem we have is not even our legislation somehow on this area of empowerment.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, creating a lifetime wealth is not a problem.
Okay.
Just like I say, you can still do these things and it will still fall back to the hands of people who may not value it.
Okay.
Now, these ones are the ones we've seen. Most times we've seen also, I want to start an example, though I will not call names. Back then when I was in the university, I had a friend who was sponsored by a legislator in East Anambra South.
Okay.
But I want to tell you that this young man graduated before others. When I mean graduated before others is because he left school, he was rusticated because of courtism. Now this is somebody that somebody else is using his money to fund. Now we have so many instances where we have seen these legislators and our representatives using their funds also to sponsor people in education and not the rest of them. I don't forget what I'm saying. So empowerment from your own perspective, this is what to look like at it to be. And to them, they also know that, and I want to tell you that government cannot solve all the problems.
Yeah, of course.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So they need to start from somewhere. And starting from somewhere means that somebody needs to start doing something. And I don't mind it's a devil's workshop. When you don't have anything doing, it lures you into thinking of some vices in the society. But when everybody is engaged, if we have all the youths riding Okada, I want to be plain that no go to school, you have them riding this Okada. Before they start thinking of what something else they need to do, they must have. It simply means that the person does not value what he or she is doing. Some persons can start from that Okada and become something more useful in life. It all depends on the area you find it. Do you understand? Now that will bring me to the question of we were talking about reading the writing and not the rest of them, and I'm asking you, as a youth in the society, no matter how hard you cry, these days we'll see on social media where youth they talk down, write marring things, publications against our leaders. I want to tell you that this is not the right way. I wouldn't know what your own angle is because you said you've made so many enemies. That is where I paused a bit to understand what you mean by making enemies. What is the right means? How do you think we're going to achieve this since you think we're not on the right track?
Okay. I think the citizens of any nation, or should I say members of any society, sometimes we don't really realize how powerful our voices are. Sometimes I can remember vividly when I left FaceToFace. That was after COVID-19. When school were about to resume, the former vice chancellor of the school that they were just finding means for students to come back to school. You understand? So they introduced the list. They called it COVID-19 levy then. When I heard that, I was like, which is COVID-19 levy again? Because some schools in the north, they are subsidizing school fees for students to come back to school. And I was like, we want to task levy for we to still go back to the school. I said, that campaign. And to my greatest surprise, okay, so that's coming by himself. He spoke to me through joke. Sorry to call names. Even if you hear it, no problem. So I was glad that at the end of the whole day, that issue of whatsoever was stopped. How did it happen? Because I was able to raise the ground, so other people joined me. So sometimes, if you are talking about the right, how it should be done, right?
Yeah.
Coming to social media to insult your leaders is not the right way. Yes, to an extent, I will say that we are also deserving of what we get as citizens of this country or members of this society, because you cannot tell me that you are my leader now. Maybe I work personally with you as a government official. You do this particular thing that is wrong. I know this is wrong. And now I am one of your media boys. You will send me, go and put it on your social media handle. You have children. You have that. You will send me. I will foolishly go and post that thing. So how will I now think that this same person will look at me tomorrow? He will say, okay, if they can do this, that means okay. This is how they say this whole thing. So this will now will keep on blackmailing you, manipulating you, and sometimes which citizens are being manipulated and we don't know that we are being manipulated. Okay. And when few of us maybe try to make some critical analysis on what has been going on, and now comes up with another idea altogether, they will be tagged bitter people. They will tag because okay, it's because you're not getting this because of the job. But these people took up their time, you understand, to give this critical analysis. I know that these people have been frustrating us all along. So my point is this: if as citizens, our work is to hold our leaders accountable. Holding leaders accountable is not insulting leaders. Because if you go to social media, you read that this man did this, you see people going to the length of posting pictures, even this AI right now. You need to go to the extent of posting AI pictures just to malign that reason they want to speak against. The only way we can do this is to create what we call voter sensitivity. You know, you go to a community, you sensitize people on the right way to vote. If you have little money with you as a private citizen, you can also mobilize and make people, you go inside the villages, register people, you make sure you tell them, vote for this, vote for that, because take it or you leave it. If voting does not count, politicians will not be spending billions and millions canvassing for voters. So it counts. And that is where we as citizens to come in, try and sensitize our people. Those people in the village that does not really understand what true leadership is all about. I think this is, if you can start from there, I think we'll go a long way to make the change we want.
Wow, it's been wonderful having you this morning. Just like I said, you've heard it. The right way to bring this food to book is not by making false publications or marring publications against them. If you want your voice to be heard, do it the right way. There's always a right way to everything. Until next time, thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you, my brother.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Face to face, now they read my